Accidents can happen anywhere, anytime, whether on road or air, or just when you are peacefully sitting within the four walls of your room. Scary, right? It definitely is. Anyone who ever gets injured or worse, lose life in an accident, never see it coming. A minor turbulence when traveling by air and the panic it creates is an example how scared of accidents people are. The anxiety, the racing heart, everything might feel like a blur for some time. Now imagine the worst, a plane crash, and think about the millions of people who have lost their lives in aircraft accidents, which they had never anticipated. Today in this video, I'll be telling you about some of the worst and deadliest accidents in aviation history which left the world shocked and scarred. Let me first tell you some of the major reasons why a plane crashes or such aviation accidents occur. There are many causes of aviation accidents. Determining what causes a plane to crash can often take in-depth research and investigation to understand what happened. Aviation accidents is a broad term. When we say aviation accident, it does not solely refer to a plane crash. This category includes other aircraft such as helicopters, ultralights, gliders, etc. Pilot error is the number one cause of aviation accidents. If a pilot does not plan the flight properly, gets into bad weather, or does not anticipate issues, then airplane crashes can happen. Air traffic controllers play a very important role in aviation safety. The errors made by the controllers is the second major cause behind such accidents. Next is weather, which is often a key factor in aviation accidents. If wrong information is obtained or flights are not planned by following the expected weather conditions, then accidents can occur. Now let us move on to the worst plane crashes in aviation history. Tenerife Airport Disaster 1977. The Tenerife Airport disaster, which is considered the deadliest plane crash in history, left the world traumatized. 583 people on board lost their lives when on March 27, 1977, two Boeing 747 passenger jets collided on the runway at Los Rodeos Airport, now Tenerife North Airport, on the Spanish island of Tenerife, Canary Islands. The crash was caused by a series of miscommunications and errors, and it was particularly devastating because it could have been prevented if proper communication protocols had been in place. Japan Airlines Flight 123 crash 1985. Japan Airlines Flight 123 was Boeing 747 that crashed on August 12, 1985 in Japan, which left 520 dead. It is considered the deadliest single aircraft accident in history. A Boeing 747 SR operating this route suffered an explosive decompression 12 minutes into the flight and 32 minutes later crashed into two ridges of Mount Takamagahara in 100 kilometers from Tokyo. The crash site was on Osutaka Ridge near Mount Osutaka. Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision 1996. The Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision occurred on 12 November 1996 over the village of Charkhi Dadri to the west of New Delhi, India, and resulted in the death of 349 people. The crash was caused by a miscommunication between the pilots of a Saudi Arabian Airlines Boeing 747 and Kazakhstan Airlines Ilyushin 276. The crash resulted in the deaths of all 349 people on board both the planes. This disaster was one of the deadliest mid-air collisions in history and highlighted the need for improved communication and collision avoidance systems. Turkish Airlines Flight 981, 1974. The Turkish Airlines flight crash comes next. Turkish Airlines Flight 981 was a regularly scheduled flight from Istanbul Airport to London Heathrow Airport with an intermediate stop in Paris at Orly Airport. McDonnell Douglas DC-10 that crashed on March 3, 1974 in Paris is considered the deadliest aviation accident in European history at that time. The crash, which was caused by a design flaw in the plane's cargo door, which resulted in the door blowing off during the flight, left 346 on board dead. Next in the list is the first bombing in aviation history. Air India Flight 182. Air India Flight 182 was an Air India flight operating on the Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, London, Delhi route. On 23 June 1985, the Boeing 747-237B serving the flight was destroyed by a bomb at an altitude of 31,000 feet. It crashed into the Atlantic Ocean while in Irish airspace. It was the first bombing of a 747 jumbo jet. It was the deadliest terrorist attack involving an airplane until the September 11, 2001 attacks. It is also the deadliest aircraft bombing. The bombing of Air India 182 occurred at the same time as the Narita airport bombing. Investigators believe that the two plots were linked and that those responsible were aiming for a double bombing. However, the bomb at Narita exploded before it could be loaded onto the plane. American Airlines Flight 191, 1979. American Airlines Flight 191 was a McDonnell Douglas DC-10 that crashed on May 25, 1979 in Chicago. The crash was caused by a mechanical failure in the plane's left engine, which caused the engine to fall off the plane during takeoff. The crash resulted in the deaths of 273 people, making it the deadliest aviation accident in the United States at that time. Saudi Arabian Airlines Flight 163, 1980. This disaster was one of the worst in aviation history and resulted in significant changes to aircraft safety regulations. Saudi Arabian Airlines Flight 163 was a tragic accident that occurred on August 19, 1980. The flight, which was en route from Jeddah to Riyadh, caught fire shortly after takeoff. Despite the efforts of the flight crew and passengers, all 301 people on board were killed. The cause of the fire was determined to be a malfunction in the aircraft's air conditioning system. These were some of the most deadly and frightening plane crashes in aviation history. The recent Nepal plane crash, which left 68 out of the 72 on board dead, led us to recall all the disastrous accidents in the past. The Yeti Airlines aircraft led by Captain Kamal Casey that crashed between the old airport and the Pokhara International Airport is still now 2023's worst aircraft accident. And we certainly wish we do not get to witness any more of these. Thank you for watching and do not forget to subscribe to our channel in depth.